Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ranting Shop. We are finally at the finale episode. I think it's episode 12 of season 8 of Ready to Love Dallas. Worst season so far because no connection seemed genuine. No connection seemed like it could go the distance. No connection was essentially believable. So we're left here with Morier, who has to choose between Katerina and Jessica, who couldn't be more different individuals. And he's talking about he's conflicted. First of all, Morier, at this point, stop trying to play with us, the viewers. Now, I'm not gonna put it fully on Morier because we know the producers have a job to do. There is a show that they need to film. There are certain things that need to be said and put in place so that it seems like a successful season. So I know he had to say things like he was conflicted, knowing fully well he was never conflicted. What we do know of Morier is that from very early on, he had an interest in Jessica. From very, very early on. Now, as for Jessica in him, I didn't see it. I never felt like Jessica shared the same level of interest that Morier had in her. However, miraculously, we come to the ending and they're choosing each other. That's crazy. And even then, we see Jessica's body language is very closed off, very much not open to whatever Morier has to offer emotionally, physically. So it's crazy to me how they felt like we would buy that. Like, did you guys really think we would buy that? And what further drives it is that they didn't even kiss. It was a forehead kiss. Did they kiss on the mouth? Like, I thought I saw them kiss on the mouth, but maybe I didn't. Because what I saw was a forehead kiss. Right? So the lack of intimacy there shows that there is something missing in their connection. We already know that there's a disconnect spiritually. And I think there is a definite disconnect physically. Jessica was trying to say that she's actually more interested in the chubby guys. But she could be interested in chubby guys, but that chubby guy is not Morier. And it just baffles me that he just is so oblivious about it, which is why I'm inclined to believe that maybe they did have an alliance to make it to the end. Because, it didn't make sense. So, let's go back a bit. Katerina has Morier meet her cousin. And she's asking some really good questions about him. Like, what's the situation with the baby mom? And he was talking about how he controls her and he can put his foot down. So, essentially, whatever he wants, he gets from the baby mama. We all know the drama when the baby mama came on TikTok alleging that Mario was lying about the reason why they broke up or whatever the case may be. But according to what he was telling Jessica, Katerina, they haven't been together for 8 years. So I don't know what that situation is about. Now, I feel like Katerina knows that her and Maury doesn't have anything. I mean, you can drag it all you want for the show, but we could all see that there was absolutely nothing there. He was more in tune with Katerina as far as Katerina's openness to accept the spiritual aspect of Maury, as well as other components like children. However, I feel like a lot of the time what it is that on paper you and somebody match, right? Everything you want, they want. However, there's nothing like meeting in person and feeling whether there is that chemistry, that thing that needs to happen for it to work, you know. And I feel like it wasn't there for either Katarina or Jessica. So what we learned was that somebody was confused. They were saying like, how is it that Maury wants to go back to Africa, but then he wants to set up a restaurant? I think it's a matter of timelines. Maybe the restaurant thing is what he wants to do now. Maybe the moving back to Africa thing is what he wants to do in 10 years. I mean, two things can be true at the same time because of timelines. You understand this? Like, I could open a restaurant in 2024, but I could also plan on going back to Africa in 2034. I mean, both could be true at the same time. I know they're trying to paint Maury as a liar, and I think in some regards he has lied. However, I don't feel as if that is something that should be scrutinized too heavily. However, it does now paint a clearer picture as to why Maury felt the need to come on Crystal's show to defend Jessica so heavily. It's either because they're still dating or because they have some kind of strong connection still. Strong, I'm not speaking on both sides. I'm also speaking on Maury. I'm also looking at it like Jessica is still giving him crumbs and he's still like chasing those crumbs. So of course he's still gonna feel the need to defend her, you know. Now as far as Jessica's friend was concerned, she's like, oh, I see you guys together. And I'm looking at Jessica's friend like, did she tell you to say that? Because I don't see it. Is it just me that does not see it? I don't see it, you know. But they ended up choosing each other in the end. Very cringy to watch because it was unbelievable. But they chose each other. Then we have Janelle Quinton. We learned that there's more of a disconnect as far as the children are concerned, because not only does he want biological children, but he wants 3. And Janelle was like, absolutely not. Like, the most I'm giving you is 1 child. She said a child and a half, which confused me. What does a child and a half mean? I don't know. But she said a child and a half and a dog, or a child and a dog. But she's not doing 3 children. She's about to be 42. She's probably 43 by now. And for her, I think it was an unrealistic thing. She always spoke about in vitro and adoption. Not in vitro, sorry. She always spoke about adoption. And my thing about it is, it took Quinton till the finale to figure out that Janelle doesn't want 3 children. That is why people are always wondering, what is it that these people talk about during their phone conversations? Something like that is so important. The amount of children. Is it gonna be biological? Is it gonna be adoption? What is it? The fact that you guys haven't spoken about this just leads me to think that the connection was not for longevity purposes. It was just to complete the show. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody that thinks harder and somebody that is serious about what they want would not compromise just because, okay, let me redirect my wants and make it about that person instead, which is what Quinton did. Quinton was like, oh, the children are not that important. I'm more invested in the person. Oh, now you're more invested in the person. So then what's the point in even bringing up the fact that you wanted 3 children? The thing with Quinton is, I feel like because Janelle sets such hard boundaries, she's quick to cut off anything that doesn't align with what she wants. And what Quinton tends to do is fall in line. So even though he may have a different feeling about what he wants, the moment Janelle says nope, he's eager. I wouldn't say he's eager, but he's very quick to change his stance on things to kind of suit Janelle, which is already a sign of a troubled relationship in the future, because as a man, you're always going to want what you want. You want 3 children and you want them to be biological. That's always something you're going to want. The thing about it is, you can only suppress what you really want for a short period of time because you feel as if you want that person more. However, as time goes by, it will become quickly apparent to you and that individual that it doesn't make sense for only one standard to be upheld while the other is distinguished. For both couples to work in a relationship, both have to compromise and both have to yield to what each other wants, right? But what I'm seeing with Quinton is an unequal compromisation, because at this particular point, he wants what he wants with Janelle. So temporarily, he's willing to be like, okay, I could put that child thing to the side. But long term, their relationship would never work. And after the finale episodes, I would go and scroll through the contestants' comments and pages and see, are they together or are they not? And thus far, I haven't seen anything from Quinton. I haven't seen anything from Janelle. The most I saw was at some point during the filming earlier on, they came together to do something of a community day. So people like Herbert, Jessica, Janelle, Quinton, Morier all came together to do this giving back to the community event. Besides that, I don't know if they continued on with their relationship. We will have to wait until the reunion to see what amounted there. But it will surprise me if they're still together, because they're so different in what they want. I feel like the Morier and Kat versus Quinton and Janelle. Morier and Kat, they would probably work well on paper, but not, they didn't have that chemistry that would make each other want to pursue that relationship. Whereas with Quinton and Janelle, they probably don't fit well on paper. However, his willingness to get her, no matter what their differences were, just speaks to the chemistry that was there for these two. So you see how chemistry makes relationships work that have no business working, and lack of it makes people that technically work on paper not want to try. It's a very interesting thing. Now, let's move on to Miss Aries and Mr. Phil. Now, people in the comment section are talking about how they're so disappointed in Aries because she decided not to choose Philip. Oh, Philip was so nice to her. Oh, Philip gave her gifts. Oh, Philip focused so much of his attention on Aries. How could she do that to him? Let me tell you guys something. Aries doesn't owe Phil anything. They're both dating each other to determine whether each other are each other's matches. They're not there to compromise on their standards because the other one was nice to them. Like, do people even listen to themselves on social media? You're telling me a woman like Aries, who, from what I've heard of her, lives a pretty lavish lifestyle, right, would settle for somebody like Philip, who according to or on the date with her family, he's telling them that he's going back into stand-up comedy, and that because he's just getting back into it, it's not going to be lucrative. You expect Aries to go for somebody who's this unstable in their career at this point in their lives? Let's be completely serious. Let's be serious. Because somebody also mentioned the fact that, because they normally put your job description under your name, and his thing was senior analyst or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure if he quit that job to be closer to his child, or whether he's still working there, but he's doing the comedy thing on the side. That wasn't made clear to us viewers, right? As far as we know, we could only take Aries talking points and use it as what could have been the case. And according to Aries, he was too unstable for her, and she needs a man that is financially at a place where she can respect him. Because listen to her very well. She says she knows what she needs for herself, and she knows that the person she wants or requires needs to be at a certain point career-wise and financially wise. So I don't think she said that in order for her to respect him, he has to do these things. But I feel like that is what she was essentially saying. It would be difficult for me to respect you as a man if you're not able to provide for my family, or if you cannot aid in stabilizing my household. That's what it seemed like to me. And he was getting defensive, and he's like, okay, I already know where she's going with this. If that's where she's going with this, if this still is something that bothers her, it's best she takes herself. It's best she chooses herself, because I want no parts of it. Maybe we could get more clarity on the Phil situation. Maybe we could figure out whether he does have a job, but he likes doing other ventures, or maybe he doesn't have a job and is planning to do new things. Maybe that's what it is. And Aries was like, absolutely not. I need an established man. If that's the case, I don't fault the woman for choosing herself. And in my opinion, it's like, how dare people fault her for wanting to choose herself? She's not obligated to choose Phil for people's likes. She's not obligated to choose Phil because what other people want and what other people expect. She is doing this for herself. She knows what she needs. As viewers, I feel like we need to stay in our place. Like, you could be a viewer, you could criticize certain things, but to say that you're disappointed in Aries for choosing herself is a bit crazy to me. Because to me, there was no other option but for her to choose herself. My thing about it is, if you have a teensy bit of apprehension about someone, don't choose them. Clearly, the financial thing was nagging at her for the remainder of the final episodes. So if it's something that she felt like she did not get enough clarity on, and so she feels she still has questions about it, or she still feels insecure about it, then it's her right to say, you didn't give me enough peace of mind where that is concerned, and that is something that is extremely important to me. So no, I'm not choosing you. That's completely fine for her to do. I would have expected Jessica to also choose herself, so it really shocked me that she didn't, because it's clear to everyone that she's not into Maury at all. She's not attracted to him sexually or physically, so it's crazy. But either way it goes, that was my analysis of this finale episode. I'm happy it's all over now. It's just about the reunion. We see that we're gonna possibly have a fight again with Janelle and Tequila for whatever reason. We see that Jessica is saying that her and Maury are in a good place. I don't buy it. And I think that was all for the preview aspect. I can't wait to see what unfolds. Let me know what you thought about this particular episode. Is there something that I am missing to say that I didn't say? Let's chat about it in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. By the way, on Katarina's page, she was saying that they didn't show where she chooses herself. And I feel like they didn't do that because it was irrelevant in the whole scheme of things, because they mounted the Jessica and Maury thing to be that way from the very beginning. Right? We were shocked that Jessica chose herself, but still, we expected it to be Jessica Maury, or at least Maury Jessica, whatever. But Katarina was never part of that picture. So the reason why they probably kept her part out is because in the bigger scheme of the show, it didn't make sense. Right? As we know, they don't all show the ones that choose themselves. There are several episodes where the person that chose themselves wasn't shown. Right? So it's nothing crazy. Either way it goes, you guys. See you guys next time, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.